And thank you, everybody, for joining us today. And special thanks to Jason Glass for spending his time with us. Jason's definitely one of my favorite people in the golf industry. So you guys have a favorite, one of my favorite people to present. And I know it's going to be a very exciting and energetic session here today. A little bit about Jason. He's one of the world's top golf strength and conditioning specialists. He currently owns the Connecticut Golf Performance Center in Vancouver, BC, specializing in training rotary athletes, biomechanics, physical assessments, and functional strength training. Jason is a consultant for many top professional athletes from the PGA Tour, DP World Tour, Nationwide Tour, LPGA, as well as snowboarding, NFL quarterbacks, National Hockey League, and Major League Baseball, and sometimes even gives knuckles to Justin Bieber. Jason is also the head of the Titleist Performance Institute's Fitness Advisory Board. He's been featured on the Golf Channel, Golf Canada magazine, many different publications, and he's been a mentor to so many golf professionals in the country, myself included. And without further ado, I'm going to give it to Jason Glass here, and thanks so much.
Awesome. John Scott, thank you so much. Equal accolades go back to you, my friend. I enjoy coaching with you on tour, and you're one of the best coaches I've had the opportunity to work with. So likewise. I'm really excited to be here, and I really appreciate this opportunity. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in today and spending some time with me. We kind of put out a description of what we're going to talk about today. And I'm definitely going to hold true to that, but we're also going to add a whole bunch of other stuff in there that is going to help you along your journey as well as not just for your athletes. So I have a slideshow that I put together for everybody. I'd love to know out there, maybe by a show of hands, if you just kind of, if you've heard me speak before, or you've listened to my Coach Glass podcast, or any kind of connection in the past, just put your hand up. That'd be great, just so I know who I'm talking with. Yeah, okay. So for everybody else, we're gonna have a lot of fun today. So I'm really looking forward to meeting everybody and this opportunity to speak for you. So let's get right into it. I'm going to switch on my slideshow, but you can keep me up in the right-hand corner if you want. If you want to see my pretty face throughout the presentation, and I might go back and forth a few times just so you can see screen and conversation. So I put this slideshow together. It's called The Undeniable Body. And I'm sure a lot of you have tuned in because you're looking for a presentation on what do the top players in the world do to prepare their bodies to be at their best. What kind of training techniques do the best players in the world to hit the ball farther and do what they do day in, day out on the PGA Tour? That would be a wonderful presentation. And I've done that presentation to the top 100 summits, and I've done it throughout the last decade. And what I found was it was very entertaining, and everybody got a lot of like, wow, that's really cool to see these great athletes do what they do. But then they'd go home, and I'm going to be honest with you, there aren't many even on the tour that can do the fun stuff that I showed, these explosive exercises that I show that make people faster, make people more resilient, and play their best golf. In reality, this is my gym right here, and this is my longtime client, Adam Hadwin. I work with many players on tour, major champion winners, PGA Tour winners, but this guy right here has been with me, or I've been with him, we should say, since he was an amateur, and we've worked together for over 14 years. And this is my gym. This is where it all started. A 400 square foot space on a driving range at Northview Golf and Country Club in Vancouver, British Columbia. This little 400 square foot footprint has produced some of the world's best golfers, but it's also produced, more importantly, some of the best kids, some of the best juniors, some of the best young adults that I'm so proud to have shared, in their growth as a human being. I really enjoy junior golf, and I enjoy working with that high school aged athlete for sure. So as much as we're looking at some high performance, we got in the back, we got kettlebells, we got battle ropes, we got medicine balls. Oh my God, this is like golf fitness heaven. But in reality, what we're going to be dealing with to make our golfers better is just their body. This is me teaching a TPI Fitness Level 3 class, and we're teaching other fitness professionals, like the ones that live in your neighborhood, the ones that are dying to meet you to help your golfers be healthier. Those same fitness professionals come out to TPI, Oceanside, California, to learn how to make their golfers better through, first and foremost, changing their body. So I want to share with you the undeniable body. And I've been very fortunate to share this presentation. It's designed to work with your clientele. So I was very fortunate to have John Scott was able to bring me up to Congressional with Blake, another mentorship graduate of mine, and spend some time with the membership. And the membership were wonderful and very receptive to this type of training, where we presented to them like what are the minimalistic things that you can do to make yourself enjoy the game of golf better, but then what are the things that you can maximize and really tweak out if you want to really maximize your game. And what we found was just the basic approach had huge dividends for even the people that wanted to do the craziest things, the ones that wanted to wake up in the morning and they wanted to, first thing, I got to look at the sun for 30 seconds. Then I have to do a power shot of, butter in my coffee. And I got, oh my God, like they have this list, and then I got a cold plunge, and then I got a hot shower, and then a cold plunge. It's like, that's all wonderful. Or you could just do some dynamic warm up before you go play. All those things are great, but you don't have to do all of it. And I want to make it really simple for you. So we did this presentation at the Olympic Club. They want to set up a residency because we want to just do these presentations to their membership over and over again out in San Francisco. Fantastic. Down in Jupiter Hills, Congressional. These are all places where, I mean, we're hoping to get in some really good clubs at some point. But for now, those are a good list of places to do some presentations. But I want to bring this same presentation to other people's clubs and really enlighten their membership and kind of light up their golf fitness program, which for a lot of people have a disconnect between the golf professional and the fitness group that may be just waiting and dying to get with some of your clients. So the big question that I want to ask your clients and yourself, let's pretend that you are the client, because this does apply to you. I want you to ask yourself, do you want to generalize in fitness? Do you want to specialize in golf fitness? Or do you want to maximize your body to play your best golf? Like absolutely, like do everything, tweak from your diet to your pregame prep to your post-round cool downs. Like, which of those three, if I could help you today, do you feel like you would fall into that category? Now, I think there's a lot of you right now that are saying maximize. A lot of you are going, well, generalize sounds pretty good, but no, I think I could probably up the game a little bit. Well, I'm going to make it really clear to you, and you're going to understand what is entailed with each of these. Now, when I do this presentation, it's an hour-long presentation by itself, and I have other things to talk about today. But I just want to give you the gist of it and kind of tweak your mind that not every single person that comes into your lesson wants to be Tiger Woods. Not everybody wants to be Justin Thomas. Some of them just want to play better golf and finish their round without pain, without discomfort, and be able to play the next day and feel the same as they did today. Like, how many of them complain like, oh, I played three days in a row? And you're like, why would that matter? Why would 3 days in a row be any different than one day? Well, it's because they're not conditioned to play that much golf. And what we want to do is we want to get our clients playing as much golf as possible. So at the end of the day, I want you to do this, but I also want your client to do the same. You have to have an honest assessment of who you are when you look yourself in the mirror. Now, I put this slide up here because this slide is like in every, self-belief presentation. You got to be the best. You got to look in the mirror and you got to see the king, even though you feel like a pawn. This is one of the worst slides I think I've ever used in a slideshow, but it really demonstrates that idea of like, you got to see yourself bigger than you are. Okay, when I look in the mirror, when I get out of the shower, I have 2 sliding glass mirrors. I'm not bragging or anything, but I've got 2 mirrors. And when I walk by those mirrors, this is what I see. On the left-hand side, I see myself like, God, Jay, you're looking great today. What What have you been doing, dude? You been doing those abs? You doing like 8-minute abs now? What's going on? And I slide along to the next mirror, and for some reason, same day, second later, and I look like the guy on the right, and I'm like, what have you been doing, dude? Lay off the IPAs. What have you been doing? So these two, like, when you look in the mirror one day, you might feel like an Adonis. The next day, you feel like a schlub. And I'm not talking about physical body typing and body shaming. I'm talking about your confidence. I'm talking about your self-belief and what you can do in a day and how you feel about yourself. So I want you to take a look in the mirror sometime today and decide whether you want to be a generalizer, a specializer, or a maximizer. Okay? So if you want to generalize, if you want to be a generalist, which is somebody who can play golf in the morning and not have to have a nap afterwards, somebody who wants to play golf in the morning and then their friends call them and say, hey, you want to play pickleball in the afternoon? And you're like, pickleball? That sounds horrific. Sure. Yeah, I'd love to come out and play pickleball. What is it's tennis without moving our feet? That sounds great. I'd love to do that. Oh, it's ping pong with a big net. Oh, that sounds amazing. I'd love to come and do that. That's like going to a golf simulator and saying, yeah, I played 18 holes today. It's great. Yeah. Well, the generalist should be able to do that. They should be able to play with their grandkids after playing pickleball at 5 o'clock in the evening. They should be able to go for a hike and the next day still be able to get up and play with their Saturday foursome. That's a generalist. That means you have a general fitness level for all activities of life. And it's quite simple. For this type of an athlete who just wants to be a weekend warrior, not really concerned about their score, they just want to go and have fun, what I recommend is this, that they learn a dynamic warm-up that they can do when they arrive at the golf course. And in our workshop, we take them through the exact warm-up. We give them a minimalist warm-up, and we also give them a specialist warm-up that they can do on the range before they go play. But the other thing that I want them to do is I want them to work on a mobility program. The mobility program is to ensure that their body is just free of limitation. So for the generalist, I want you to be active during the day, and I want you to have a mobility routine in the evening. And that daily mobility routine, what we say is you should be doing one session of mobility work for each decade that you're alive. So if you're 50, if you're in your 50s, I want you doing it 5 days a week. You're like, whoa, Jay. I mean, who has time for that? I'm talking about 20 minutes of while you're watching the Golden Girls on TV, you sit on the floor with your yoga mat and stretch. That could be your mobility program. 20 minutes, 5 days a week if you're 50. If you're 70, that's 7 days a week. If you're 80, you know what? Just acknowledge the fact you're 80 and just enjoy life, okay? Watch other people stretch. No, you got to get in there, folks. I'm telling you, the stretching is good. For some of you, it might be activation, but for generalists, a little bit of a warm up before you go play and a little stretch afterwards is fantastic. Now, if you want to specialize in the game of golf and you want to go, well, I want to train for golf. I want to warm up for golf so I can play my best. I want to do a cool down session, after my round of golf, so that I can play well tomorrow. Now you're a specializer. Well, the specializer, this person is someone who's dedicated to the game, and their intention when they work out is to get better at golf. So they have golf-specific workouts. Okay, what does that look like? I have an option for everybody here that you can go online, follow my 18-week training program, which is specializing in golf. That is the specialized golf program. And if I do a workshop at your facility, what we do is we provide them with that 18-week training program. So once I leave, I get them fired up about fitness. They just follow along on this very golf specific, but manageable exercise program that they follow along, kind of like a Peloton workout. But the specializer needs to train like a golfer. They have a little bit more of a dynamic warm up on the range, which might involve some warm up that doesn't involve the range, like maybe a home, maybe a little bit of a yoga, a dynamic kinetic yoga before they go play. Just loosen up the body before they go out to the course. And lastly, the specializer, the person who says, I really want to get good at golf, they have to have some kind of a cool down technique. They have to have something that removes the wear and tear and the unilateral aspect of golf and kind of balance out the body after they play. If you're sore after a round of golf the next day, it's probably because you used a lot of the same muscles over and over again, and the opposite side of the body was not getting the same attention. So you're kind of twisted and not really balanced. So I love a cool down technique that kind of balances the body when you finish. Now, if you want to maximize, this is what we give our tour players. So John Scott and I just came back from Vegas. We were working with one of our players, and this is the routine that we went through for 2 days. We got up early in the morning and did an activation and training session with our athlete that to some of you might look like an intense workout, but to this athlete who's been training with us for a long time, it was just something to get the body activated and get them kind of excited about the day of golf. And then we get out to the driving range and we warmed up effectively. And this was one of the things that we wrote down was, we want to warm the body up to swing the club. We don't want to swing the club to warm up the body. So we actually did some exercises on the range that would help him prepare before he even took his first shot. And then when he did take his first shot, I just had to ask him the question, how do you feel? He goes, I feel like I've already hit a bucket. And I'm like, that's fantastic. Now we're ready to go. And then we have on course. How do we manage ourselves on course? Do we have the ability, if we're starting to feel a little bit too loose on the course or a little bit too tight, or can we manage our energy levels throughout a round of golf? Can we do that through nutrition? Can we do it through hydration? All the on-course fueling will affect our mental capacity and our physical capacity. And then we also went through afterwards a little bit of a cool down. And by the way, the cool down is not on the 19th hole. It is, eating clean food so we can do the same thing tomorrow. It was relaxation, meditation, even just to kind of sum up the day, get a little bit of balance in our mind and our body. And then our off-course nutrition plan has to support the day ahead. This is something I want each and every one of you to understand. If you're on a golf course and you feel dehydrated, that dehydration is not going to be solved on that day because it wasn't created on that day. Your dehydration started 2 days previous. It might have started the night before. It might have been that extra cup of coffee and you didn't replace it with an extra glass of water. So your situation that you're currently living in right now is a culmination of your lifestyle and the things that you did leading up to today. So off course nutrition affects on course performance. Wow, I should write that one down. That's pretty good. Okay, next one. I want to get into some of the nuances of this, because if you want to be a maximizer, everyone goes, this sounds great, Jay. I want to be a maximizer. Dude, I'm a maximizer. Hands up, want to be a maximizer. Yes. Well, it comes with sacrifice. And this is the part that you have to be real with your clients. If your clients say, I want a wedge game like Jordan Spieth, you say, well, do you have 3 hours a day to work on your wedge game? And they're like, I don't have 3 hours a day to work on it. But then don't have the expectation that you're going to have that wedge game. So if you want to be golf fit and you want to take into all those accounts, so we're going to warm up before we go play. Well, now your 5-hour round of golf just added in an hour of prep before with warm-ups and training in the morning, plus nutrition, a proper breakfast, not just grabbing a bar when you get to the first tee. So now we're at 7 hours to play a round of golf, plus our cool down afterwards. That's another hour. So now we're at 8 hours just to play a round of golf. Like, I don't know about you guys, but my wife's not into even the 5 hours that I put into a round of golf, which I tell her it takes 7, but it really takes 5. Because most of the time I'm spending about an hour and a half at least in my car crying, looking at my scorecard. But there is a sacrifice that comes along with this, folks. There's a sacrifice, and we need to take this into account if you want to maximize your game. But I'll tell you right now, none of this matters. None of the stuff that I just talked about matters at all unless you take care of these 5 foundations. And these 5 foundations, I'm telling you, they're going to change your life right now. I know that's a big, big ask of me, but they're going to change your life right now for you as a professional. Because when you're not playing golf, I want you to be functioning at the highest level. I want you to be performing at the highest level in your job, in your relationships, and just with yourself. I want you to be able to look yourself in the mirror and feel good about who you are and feel like you're really maximizing your life. So I'm telling you right now that these 5 foundations that I'm going to share with you, you give them to your clients, you share them with your clients, but more importantly, I want you to share it with yourself. So I know this is going to be really corny. I want everybody to put their hand up and put your hand up and show your 5. Okay, show your 5. If you can, by the end of the day, have all 5 of those, all 5 fingers curled into a fist, you've rocked the day, okay? I know that's really corny, but you will think about that one day. You're going to look at the back of your hand, you're going to go, I've only got 3 of those fingers down. I need to get 2 more of them down to make that fit that fist. This is literally, if I have a player and they have a bad day on the range, or sorry, on the round of golf, they just shot 2 over and they missed the cut. They go, I don't know what happened, Jay. And I go, back to the 5. I ask them these 5 questions. Always, without a doubt, at least one of those 5 wasn't accomplished, and it contributed to that bad day. So let's learn about the 5. I want you to sleep like it's your job. That's number 1. I want you to drink water, but I'm going to get very specific and tell you how to drink water. Just drinking water is not enough. I want you to eat clean. I want you to move beautifully, and I want you to have intention in your life. Let's go into the details of this. You'll have lots of time to write these down, and I'll review it at the end. So I want you to sleep like it's your job. And what I mean by that is, if you were being paid for every minute that you slept, you'd go to bed earlier and you'd probably sleep in. You're like, Jay, I don't have time for that. I'm one of those guys who trains at 4 in the morning. Hey, stop training at 4 in the morning. What you're taking away from yourself at 4 o'clock in the morning is taking away the training effect that you're getting at 4 o'clock in the morning. Or if you're going to train at 4 o'clock in the morning, I'm sorry to say, you got to go to bed at 8. What? But that's when the Golden Girls come on. And I'm like, I know, tape it. That's what a PVR is for. It's for Golden Girl reruns. You can't just, you can watch it at 7 now, and then go to bed at 8, and then you can get up at 4. But I'd rather you just go to bed at a half decent time, wake up at a half decent time, get your 8 hours of sleep. Now, sleep is not all equal. We know we can put our little ring on, we can put our little Whoop band on, we can measure it now. And if you measure it, that's wonderful. Hopefully those measurements are not like a roller coaster ride. If we want to have regulated sleep, I want you to go into a room that is as dark as possible. When I travel on the road, I have my face mask, like a mask, like a crazy person on the plane. I wear the face mask, and it helps block out the light if the room is not going to be dark enough. I also take the air conditioner and I put it as cold as possible. Now, I live in Vancouver, British Columbia, so most of the time we just have our window open and it's fine. Window open or as cold as you can. The temperature of your body affects how deeply you sleep. The darkness in your room affects how deeply you sleep. And lastly, we want to make sure that we're not stimulating ourselves with cell phones in our bed. So I have this rule with my high school aged juniors. I always say, if you're going to scroll on your phone, sit in a chair outside of your bed. You can be in your room, but sit at your desk or wherever you're going to be, sit on the floor. But when you get into a bed that's made, the bed is a place of sleep, and it triggers sleep when you get into it. If you're scrolling on your phone while you're laying in bed, you're telling your brain and your body that sleep is a place, or your bed is a place of entertainment. Now, don't get me wrong. I love entertaining in my bedroom. I do. But I also love to sleep in my bed. So make sure that you're sleeping and not entertaining yourself while you're in the boudoir. Okay. So cold as you can, dark as you can. Don't go on your cell phones, and you're going to sleep like a baby. Now, the next one was, I want you to drink water. How much water, Jay? How much water is enough? What I want you to do is I want you to take your weight right now. Take the number of your weight, and if you have to write it down, that's fine. Take your weight. Let's say I'm a 200-pound athlete. I'm going to cut that weight in half. So now I have the number 100. The number 100 represents how many ounces of water I'm going to drink in a day. That's my baseline. So if you're a 160 pound athlete, you're going to be drinking 80 ounces of water a day. Now I'm up in Canada where we have the metric system. So I'm drinking one of these, one big jug of water is 1 liter, which is 34 ounces. I have to drink 4 of these a day. Now you might go, that's crazy, Jay, 4 of those? No, that's just a baseline. If I work out like I did this morning, yes. Did I do my sauna this morning? Yes. Okay, well now I'm like in a deficit. So now I got to have 5 liters of water a day. So we're just upping the ante. Did I have my coffee this morning? Yes. Oh, that's caffeine. Even it's a diuretic. Even more water today. If I'm out in the hot sun, more water today. And is all water equal? No. What I like to do is take the electrolytes. Everybody talks about electrolytes. Oh, I got to get the electrolytes. All you need is a little pinch of Celtic sea salt or a little pinch of pink Himalayan salt, like a rock salt, and you get all the electrolyte benefits you need. That's it. So I don't like anything where my players are drinking something where they have that taste in their mouth. It's like, what is that, fruit punch? And like an hour after they drank it, their lips are still pink and they have a taste of fruit punch in their mouth. Now, just a little bit of Celtic salt in all their glasses of water during a hot round actually gives them the electrolytes they need. I want you to eat clean. Eat clean. What does that mean? I don't care if you're a paleo. I don't care if you're a vegan. I know that most of you aren't vegans because you would have put that already in the chat box. But I want each and every one of you just to eat clean. And what clean is, my good friend Rob Yang, he has a great book called Hole in One Nutrition. But that book amplifies that your PFF is your BFF. What that means is every meal you take, you should have protein, you should have fats, healthy fats, and you should have fiber, PFF, protein, fats, fiber. If every meal you eat has protein, fat, and fiber, and you can be a vegetarian and still get protein, you're going to get it from a plant-based source. Your fats should come in the form of something healthy like coconut oil, maybe some ghee, maybe some avocado. There's lots of different sources of fats that we can get that are going to be healthy. They're going to feed our brain. And then we also need fiber to make our gut, which is our second brain, make that as healthy as possible. So there's lots of options there. I'm not going to tell you what to eat, what not to eat, but you guys know, ladies, guys, gentlemen, when you eat something, you know whether you should be eating that or not. That's just an awareness thing. We're all adults. Figure it out. Now, this one, move beautifully every day. Move beautifully every day is a rule that I gave myself about 7 years ago. I said, whether I'm sick, whether I'm tired, whether I travel, whatever I do, I have to do 20 minutes of beautiful movement every day. And you go, what does that mean, Jay? Are you a ballet, enthusiast? No. Moving beautifully for me is doing something in my day that's going to enhance the way that I move. So sometimes moving beautifully is a 20-minute workout. Sometimes it's a 45-minute workout with heavy weights, kettlebells, battle ropes. Who knows what it could be really intense, but it could also be 20 minutes of yoga. It could be a 30-minute Peloton ride. I could be doing cardio. It could be an hour walk in the forest near my house. I listen to my body and I listen to what my body's needs are. But I make sure that I break a sweat every single day and then I at least get 20 minutes minimum of moving beautifully. I highly encourage yourself to challenge yourself to do that. It could literally be stretching while watching Love on the Spectrum. It could be, I don't know if you like to stretch to that. I do. You can watch whatever show you like, 1,000 Pound Sisters, sure, whatever like turns your crank. You gotta stretch, watch TV, or get on the Peloton, do something beautiful every day. Okay, and lastly, this is the fifth. This is like the pinky, but it should be the thumb. It's you know what? Let's make it the thumb. No, it's the pinky. No, it's the thumb. I'll figure it out. I'll let you know which one I decide. But the intention of your day, intention is everything. Think about this. Think about if I went to go do a workout this morning and I just went in the gym and just worked out. Like I'm just going to push some weights around, and then I finished the workout, and then someone asked me, what were you working on today? And you're like, it was a workout. Yeah, but what were you working out for? Like what were you physiologically wanting to change in the body? And you're like, I don't know, it's just a workout. To me, that's a workout without intention. If you're going to go practice, going to the range and hitting golf balls is not practice. What was your intention? Did you go to the practice session with an intention to hit fades? If you want to hit a fade, then go to the practice with an intention of hitting fades. And if you're going to hit fades, you should have a checklist of things that are going to be worked on, elements that are going to enhance your ability to be successful at hitting fades. And then you're going to check afterwards, after you finish your session, was I able to accomplish these goals? Have intention in your business. Have intention as a coach. I want to be the best coach in the world. I hear that all the time. I want to be the best coach in the world. Oh, do you? How often do you wake up in the morning with a checklist of these are the things that I'm going to do today to get me closer to that goal? I want to be on the top 100 golf instructors list. Okay, it's not going to happen unless you make it a goal and you have that intention, and every day you chip off that block. One more thing. So your whole life should have intention. I like taking intention to a whole nother level. I love meditation. I meditate every single day. I meditate because it sets my mind up and it clears my mind so that I can function at the highest level mentally. I know what I do physically. I train my body to be physical, but if it's not matched with a healthy mind, then I'm not going to be able to perform at the highest level. So one of my favorite mantras that I want to share with you is this. I take in my breath. I sit and breathe. You're like, oh, Jay, I can't sit cross-legged. Okay, sit in a chair. Lay on your back. I don't care what you do. Just breathe and be aware of the breath. And as I'm breathing, as I breathe in, I say I am good. And when I breathe out, I say, and always getting better. I breathe in, I am good. I breathe out, always getting better. What does this mean to you? I am good and always getting better. Now I'm a Canadian, so we're very humble. I'm good. I'm not great. I mean, I'm pretty good. I mean, I'm not the best in the world, but I'm pretty good. Yeah, I think I'm pretty good. But here's the most important thing. I'm always getting better. What does that set? That sets an intention. How am I getting better? I'm getting better at my daily routine. I'm getting better in my relationships. I'm getting better in my business. I'm getting better as a coach. I'm getting better at meditating. I'm getting better. I'm always getting better. So if I wake up every day and I meditate and I have this mantra in my practice, then every day I'm thinking about getting better and it makes me feel good. How many of you are not meditating, but in your inner voice are saying, I suck and I'm always getting worse? Like, honestly, your self-talk, I suck and I'm always getting worse. That's not a great way to start or end your day. So I'm purposely going through the process of learning how to constantly move myself forward. By the way, I'm not checking my text. I'm checking my time. If you guys see me go to my phone every once in a while, it keeps shutting off. The guy's texting while getting better? That's insane. I totally want to join that program. All right. So here's our recap. We want to sleep like it's your job. You want to drink half your body weight in water a day. You want to eat clean. You want to move beautifully every day for a minimum of 20 minutes. And I'd love it if you broke a sweat while doing so. And I want you to have intention with things that you do. You see, a lot of you signed up for this because you wanted the high performance training program. And I just told you the most 5 important things that you can do for a high performance life. And you're like, but where's the 180 jumps, Jay? Where's the 360 jumps off of a platform? I'm telling you, none of that matters if you're not taking care of these 5. So I had a player who finished bad in a tournament, was really pissed off. And they're like, I don't know what's going on, Jay. I just have no confidence. The whole thing is a mess. And I go, okay, how'd you sleep last night? He goes, I didn't sleep at all because we went out for Mexican food and I had a little bit of, rumble in the tummy. And it was so salty that I feel so dehydrated this morning. So you didn't eat clean, you're dehydrated, and you didn't sleep well. So that's 3 right there that you're missing. What'd you do this morning? Well, I was going to warm up, but I couldn't because I was on the toilet all morning. Oh, okay, so you didn't move beautifully? What was your intention today? To get off the toilet and get on the golf course as quick as possible. Like that right there is those 5 just don't exist. You can see how this can transform your life if you really take a look at it. Okay, I want to switch this up here, folks. I want to talk about you and you as a professional and what you can do, because this is like when I was in college, this is what I did. I slept beautifully. I ate half my body weight in udon noodles and drank like it was my job. I did not take care of the 5. I did not take care of the 5. I take care of the 5 now. So if this is your life, it can be turned around. We can turn this around and get back to the 5. Okay. I want to show you this slide here because I didn't start out my career in golf. And in fact, I'm not technically a golfer. I started my career in the extreme sports world. And I started in the extreme sports world because I was a surfer, skater, kid, snowboarder. And I started training these snowboarders, and I started training them to be better at jumping off 50-foot cliffs. And it turned out through that practice and those exercises we used, they also started hitting the golf ball really, really far. And this is Devin Walsh, world top backcountry snowboarder. And we brought him onto the Golf Channel and demonstrated some of the exercises that we did for him to help him become a better snowboarder, which also made him a better golfer. The reason why I share that story is that I didn't start my life on a journey of golf. Even though I work on the PGA Tour, you might think, oh, he must have wanted to do that when he was a kid. He must have grown up just loving the game of golf, and now he's working in that thing that he dreamt about every night. No, I dreamt about being a professional skateboarder. I didn't dream about working in the NFL, even though I played college football. I didn't even enjoy the game of football. I was just a good athlete, but ended up working in the NFL, working in the NHL. I know nothing about baseball and worked for a Major League Baseball organization for a year. So my journey to golf was not what I planned. This is what I wanted. You know, when people ask me, they go, what do you do for a living, Jay? I go, I work at 7-Eleven. They go, what? You live like at a dinner party, and my wife kicks me under the table. She's like, what are you talking? You don't work at 7-Eleven. I go, yeah, I work at 7-Eleven. I don't want to tell them I'm a personal trainer or strength coach, because what are they going to do? They're going to tell me about their fitness program all night. I hate talking to people about fitness and personal training. It drives me crazy. They go, will you work at headquarters at 7-Eleven? I go, no, Broadway in Maine. They're like, whoa, are you the manager there? I'm like, hopefully one day. My wife hates it. But I don't even want to tell people about what I do, because if I do, I'm going to go down a rabbit hole, and it's going to be this whole thing about passion and what I love about golf. Somebody changed their screensaver and it looks fantastic, by the way. I want to talk to you about, like, where were your passions growing up? What were you into when you were, coming up when you were a kid? You probably didn't want to be a golf pro. Maybe you did. I don't know. I remember watching this movie Tap, and I loved it. I was like this kid. I was a skater kid, and I was sitting in my basement watching the movie Tap. If you don't remember it, Gregory Hines wants to be a world-class tap dancer. And I was so inspired by his story about coming from nothing and then becoming something, that I put bottle caps on the bottom of my shoes. And I went outside with all my skater buddies, and I was like, guys, you guys got to check this out. And I started tapping. Then I'm tapping away, doing 360s and spinning around. There's bottle caps flying everywhere. And they just looked at me and they're like, Jay, that's whack. I'm like, they just crushed my dreams. They crushed everything that I built, like, for that 2-hour movie. Everything that I put into my dream of 2 hours was crushed by someone saying, Jay, that's whack. Then I'm in college and I wanted to be a stand-up comedian. And I was like, I think this would be great. I love telling jokes. I love being the goofball in the class. I think I could be a stand-up comedian. And I was at a corporate dinner, and the boss of the corporate dinner goes, "You want to be a stand-up?" I go, "Yeah." He goes, "Then stand up right now and tell a joke. Tell the whole room a joke. You're not funny." So I stood up, I told the room a joke, got a couple chuckles. The setting wasn't right. The mood wasn't right. And when I sat back down, he goes, "You haven't got it, kid. You'll never be a stand-up." So guess what? That was in college. I didn't go back on a stage until I was 40 years old. And at 40 years old, I thought, you know what? Maybe I'll revisit this. I'm 51 today and a professional stand-up comedian. You can go back to dreams. You can accomplish what you want to accomplish. All you got to do is all those things I just talked about. Have intention in your life, have something that you want to accomplish, and then get into it. Get stuck in. You want to be the best coach in the world? Don't just go to work each day. Each day, go with the intention of getting better and work your ass off to accomplish it. See, when you were a baby, you were like, I don't know what I want to do. And then somehow, some way, you ended up where you are today. Now, you are where you are, but how did you get here? How did you become a golf pro? That's what I want to know. How did you get in the golf industry? Is it because you just love golf? Did you grow up as a kid wanting to be a policeman or an astronaut, and now you're a golf pro? That's awesome. If that's what you wanted to be, that's what you wanted to be. But how did you get here? There was a lot of positive things and a lot of negative things that led to who you are today. The positive things, maybe you had an uncle or a grandpa or your mom or someone in your life that you looked up to that loved golf and they were passionate about it, and they introduced you to the game. You also had a lot of negatives. You had people telling you you'll never make it. You had bosses that kept you down under their thumb because their ego was in the way. You had all these different negative aspects that led to who you are today. Maybe you tried out for Little League Baseball and you wanted to be a baseball player, and the coach says, "You'll never make it, kid." And you're like, "Okay, maybe I'll try golf." Who knows? You are where you are based on who you were leading up to that point. Most people live a traditional plan. They fall in love. They go get married because they've been dating for a while. They're like, "Let's get married." They get a dog, which is a practice baby, and then they have a baby. This is like a traditional life that a lot of people live. But there are other people who don't plan their life, and maybe they fall in love. Oops, had a baby. We should probably get married, but it was the wrong person. Divorce. And then you're left alone with your dog. There's a few people in the chat room right now going, "That's me." But that's what happens if you don't have, maybe the plan didn't work out the way you wanted it to. But then when you talk about retirement, you go, "Oh, I have a plan." Your financial advisor has a plan. Your plan for your finances, why don't you plan for your career? Why don't you plan for what you want to accomplish in your life? Why don't you plan for what do you want out of life? You see, you became a golf professional because you love golf. And you're like, "I love golf so much. What if I could be around golf every single day and teach golf?" And then you start teaching golf, and guess what? You never get to play the game because you're always teaching other people how to enjoy the sport that you apparently love so much, but never get to play. If you truly, truly, truly love golf, this is the game plan. If you have a friend who goes, "I love golf. I want to be a golf professional," I'd say, "You love golf? Go get a job that pays you way too much money that you can go and join a nice country club and play golf and take lessons." That would be like the ultimate golf life, because they play way more golf than you or I do. So my next question to you is, where are you going in your career? Where are you going in your golf life? This is the question that you really have to do that mirror check. Is the next 10 years going to look the same as the last 10 years? If I could say to you, "Where do you want to be in 5 years?" you would probably give me a really interesting answer. But then if I watched you actively do what you're planning on doing for the next 5 years, you'll probably end up in the same place you currently are in another 5 years, because you didn't put a plan in action. You didn't put wheels in motion to execute what you want to accomplish. So you were here, and what I like to do, this is my passion, is to help golf professionals, fitness professionals, medical professionals, move from where they are to where they actually want to go. Because it's not enough to have a dream big and say you want to go somewhere without actually having a plan and executing it. And that's called the Coach Glass Mentorship. This is a program that we've done with a lot of your cohorts and a lot of your colleagues. We've had over 125 people go through the Coach Glass Mentorship. And what we did was we took them from where they were to where they needed to go. And the way we did that was we took all the positives that they had in their life and we took the negatives, we acknowledged their negatives, the things that maybe the career suicide things that held them back. And then what we do is we reframe some of the negatives and we make them positives because we learn from those experiences. And then we move people forward through that process. And at the end of the day, we have this thing called Dream Big, which I wrote a book about called Dream Big, Over Deliver, Be Undeniable. And that Dream Big is having a dream that's so big, this vision in your head about who you could possibly be in your career, in your life, and then having the tools to actually execute on that. So that's the Coach Glass Mentorship. And I'd love to be a part of that process with you. We have one coming up this May. We do one a year, and we only take in 10 people for the mentorship. But we do have one coming up this spring. If you're sitting there watching this right now and you're going, oh, there's some stuff that I wanted to accomplish, and I said it 5 years ago, and I never did it, this is the program for you. So you can go to my website, and there's links everywhere. You'll find. Just look up Coach Glass Mentorship. But the key is, if you're going to go down a new path and you want to do something spectacular in your life, you're going to have to start smart. You're going to have to do it with a plan, and you're going to have to do it with a system that's going to actually accomplish what you want to get to. And you know what, we go into depth in all of this element in the mentorship, and I really want, I'm excited about sharing that with you if you want to go down that path. But right now, what I really want to do is just kind of talk to you about really what is, like, into the question and answer a little bit, and find out what is the things that you want to accomplish, what are the things that you want to work on in your career, and how can I help you maybe along that path. So if there's anybody in there that wants to discuss anything or share some thoughts, I'm really excited about sharing those with you.
Jay, thank you so much for that. I want to piggyback on the mentorship part and give a personal experience on my end with it. I think it's pretty relevant. We just left the PGA show. A lot of us were there, and I think as PGA professionals, we all have a big case of FOMO sometimes. You go to the PGA show and you see the latest pressure plate or force plate or some technology or some certification that someone's doing, and you go through this and you're like, man, like, you're just always trying to play catch up. And that's like where I felt like I was. And his going through that program really helped me identify my why. You go through this process of what your why is, and it's something I think about on a daily basis, and it kind of grounds me and gets me on my track instead of worrying about what I'm missing out on or what I'm not doing. And I would encourage everybody here to, like, come up with their own why, and his class can help you go through that. But it's also like, it sets you up on that intention to have that career goals and meet them. And like, it's helped me immensely, and I know I got a ton from it. So thank you personally from that, but also to the group. It's like, it's such a good process to go through. And what you guys just went through, what he just described, like, it's like that, but way more in depth, and you learn a lot about yourself with it.
Well, I appreciate that, John Scott. You're a prime example of that, and you've also taken that with your staff as well, and
Exactly.
it's been an incredible ride, and we've also been able to do that with our players as well. As we look at not just the there's so many programs out there that are just all about money, and they're all about, like, I just want to make more money, and how to funnel people into your system and make more money, and how to get people to your website and marketing. But if you don't go backwards first and figure out the why, like, why do you want people to come to your website? What is it that you want to share with them? Why do you want people to, like, why do you want to fill your lesson plan? Is it strictly because you just want to make money? Or are you actually wanting to help people? And if you want to help people, how do you want to help people? So finding the why, which is really, really important, is going backwards and finding what drives you towards doing what you do every day. And a lot of people just don't know. They're just like, I don't know, I'm just a golf coach, or I like to work in the pro shop. Why? Do you have something else that you want to accomplish? Yeah. Well, then why aren't we doing it? Like, let's find out why and how to move forward with it. Because we all
Yeah.
have different currencies. There's different currencies that you can be paid in. You can be paid in money, which is great, but you also have time. You have the freedom of like being able to make your own schedule, being able to be able to be creative in your work and express yourself in various ways. You want security or you want fame. There's lots of different currencies, but for some reason the world tells us that there's only one currency, and it seems to be money. And I just disagree with that. So.
We have a question from Spencer. How bad does bodybuilding or bro splits hurt your golf swing, even if you are stretching? And I don't know what bro splits are, so I need some help
Oh,
on
I
that.
know what bro splits are. Yeah. Uh-huh. You know what? For the right person, it can be beneficial. But I would say you could be the strongest person in the world and not be able to generate the forces and speeds of somebody who is moving really well. And I'm not talking about just because they stretch and stuff. I'm talking about I can take somebody who's detrained and through training them, train them how to use the ground better, train them how to use their body better, and get better results than somebody who's just going to the gym. Now, if you take somebody who goes to the gym, gets really strong, and then you turn them into an athlete, now you have the best of both worlds. So I'm all for your bro splits, but at some point you're going to have to turn that into athletic motion that is beautiful and applies to the game of golf. So I like somebody who kind of balances those two things out, does 3 months of one, and then a month of training with athleticism, and then goes back to strength and morphs it back and forth.
Jay, on piggybacking off on that, like your competitive golfers, do you find
Mm-hmm.
that they're lifting in season, or
Yeah,
are they because the
100%.
season starts, they're not lifting? Like, walk us through that.
Yeah, 100%. Like for instance, my longtime client Adam Hadwin, because he made the top 50, he had 4 months off. So we did like traditional strength and conditioning for 2 of those months, put on 5 pounds of muscle, and then turned it into athletic motion. And he gained 5 miles an hour in club head speed this season, and he's maintaining it. That's huge. That's a huge performance variable. But I had other players who had to play the fall series, and then they started right away, and they only had maybe 5 weeks off. So that training program involved some strength training that they'll sprinkle in throughout the year, but most of it's going to be athletic training and learning how to move their body to match their golf swing.
Okay, so how would you change someone's fitness program or goals as they age? Less weights, more mobility?
Yes, absolutely. Our ligaments, tendons, and muscle fibers change as we age. So keeping them supple and elastic can gain a lot of performance variables over just strength. So I'd rather be flexible and dynamic with elasticity as an older person than strong and stiff for sure.
All right, I'm gonna do my best on this one. Any exercises for a small labrum tear, subscapularis, and infraspinaceous small tear? They don't teach those words at Tennessee, so I don't know those.
Wow.
I
Yeah,
know that's a
yeah,
tough one, but anything on that front?
yeah, absolutely. Find a really good physical therapist who's going to be able to walk you through that. Getting strong is great. I would say that grip strength and rotator cuff and shoulder stability go hand in hand. So if you're crushing a lot of things like you don't have to lift heavy weight, but you just have to crush the grip of a heavy weight, that engages all of this and helps it. But if the alignment's not right and it's not kind of in a great position, strengthening bad posture, is strengthening, making things worse. So yeah.
Really good. You kind of touched on this a little bit. Do you have any tour players strength train during tournaments? I think you
Absolutely.
maybe expand on that just a hair.
Yeah, absolutely. By the way, all this myth that people talk about, like, oh, we peak for the majors. Every week they're playing for over $1 million. Every day is a major. So what I tell them is this: in 1 year from now, do you want to be the same person that you currently are? Because if you are, we have to train during the season because you're playing almost every week. So we have to train during the season. They go, okay. And I go, but do you want to be better? They're like, yeah. Then we have to do some strength training too. But aren't I going to get sore? Maybe. But that's what we have to do if we want to change over the year. To adapt, you have to apply stress to the body. The body adapts to that stress. I mean, it's that simple. So we have to apply a stress to the body every single week for it to adapt. And we decide whether that's going to be strength or mobility or speed.
I love it. Okay, so one last question. So you have tons of golf professionals on the call today, over 60 of us in the call. What are ways that we can work with a fitness professional at our facility to maximize? We all want to be maximizers, to work with our facility to grow like the golf fitness part, the teaching part. What are ways that we can do that? What are some success stories or best practices of the people that maximize that?
Yeah, absolutely. I'll just show you a couple options here. So in my world, we have a lot of people that don't have fitness professionals that are available to them. So I have this 18-week training program that I have that, maybe we come out to your club and present to your membership and show them what a warm-up looks like, what a weekly training program looks like, and then get them on this program. But you're always better having a fitness professional in your area that you can, team up with. And they don't have to be a TPI certified person. They don't have to even really truly understand the game of golf, but they do have to be a professional who's going to care for your clients as much as you care for them. And if you can educate them on their golf game and what's important and be the leader of that, that's fantastic. But I think the most important thing for your clients is that you lead by example by showing them that fitness is important to you. You don't have to look fit. You just have to know that you're on a journey of moving better and feeling better, and allow them to be a part of that journey with you. And if you can get a fitness professional in your area, I guarantee there's some great people. Go to mytpi.com and look up your postal code or your zip code, and you'll find fitness professionals in your area.
And
so that's a
like
way to do that.
What Blake and myself and Stacy and our team at Congressional, what we did, and if anyone has questions on how we ran it with Jason last year, like please reach out to me. We basically had a couple different groups. We had our elite junior group. He did an amazing session with them. And then you had one-on-one sessions for part of the trip. And then you had the high triplexity program, the load to explode program. So you're hitting these different demographics and the maximizers and the specializers, and you hit on all that. And the cool part was the whole fitness team came and the whole golf staff came. And the members saw the importance and the buy-in from the team environment that we created with it. And I mean, they still do load to explode programs throughout the year. They still have high triplexity class. Like they still do these things throughout the year, a year later. So if anyone wants any feedback on how we did it, reach out to me. And I think we have to wrap it up here too. So if anyone has any last minute questions, let me know.
I would just share this, John Scott. I really appreciate that. Yep. I'm not like, this program obviously is something that I created for the general public, but I also have something for everybody, and it doesn't take any time. I have the Coach Glass podcast, where we have over 500 episodes ready for you on iTunes and over 1 million listeners. We've been doing it for 9 years straight. That's completely free, and I hope you can enjoy a little bit of comedy and fitness and golf performance. And then we also have my book, Dream Big, Over Deliver, Be Undeniable, which is the mentorship in a book form. If you want to just dive in first and see what you can accomplish in your life, that's a great book for you. It did win Author of the Year by Vague Magazine. You're welcome. Back hair is back in fashion, apparently. But yeah, you guys can always check out, these are jokes, folks. But you guys can check out the Coach Glass podcast or come to a mentorship directly with me. So
awesome. Thank you, sir. We appreciate you.
Yeah, thank you for having me on, and I'd like to meet everybody in person sometime soon. Thanks, everybody, and cheers.
Yeah, if you have questions, just reach out to me directly. Thank you, guys.